Hello and welcome to my channel Attila Tarot. In this video we will take a look at the relationship between China and the United States. Obviously we're getting to another chapter of the trade war where it's kind of getting between the US and China. So the way we're gonna do this reading is similar the way I've done the other ones. These decks represent China's energy. This side is representing the US energy. We're going to look at the current situation. We're going to look at the hindering factors, the opportunities, and the final outcome of this relationship between the two countries. I hope you're going to enjoy it, and I will try to focus on as much as the meanings of the cards. So we're going to start with China. The very first card we have on their side is the Two of Wands. What we need to know about the Two of Wands that this is all about strategic planning. Planning, analyzing, and seeing what is out there in the world. What are looking beyond their current borders. What they kind of evaluating what is their long-term position on the global stage, and what they kind of wondering how can they assert their influence further. Because what you need to know about this card is kind of representing when you're kind of looking out in the globe, looking at that, and you kind of see that okay, the whole world is ahead of me. I can conquer the whole world, but whatever kind of achieved so far is holding me back. Right, so there's something here that they're obviously looking into, looking outside. What can they do differently? How can they have more influence to the world? But also there's something that's holding them back. But there's definitely some planning and strategy, and they are at the fork of a road where they have to make a decision which direction they want to go to. Because the Two of Wands is the card of planning and decision. Now we also have here the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is all about turning your back to something, walking away from something that is no longer working for you. It can be connected to past strategies, alliances, ideologies, or just the relationship with the US as a whole. They're going into a new direction and practically because they say, okay, this is no longer working for us. We need to go into a new direction. But it's important with this card that this is not an easy decision to leave something behind, but you're kind of forced to do that. That's the energy of the card, and they're gonna do it. They're gonna go into a brand new direction where they don't necessarily know where it is leading, but I think they're gonna be definitely making that move of turning their back to this current relationship. They also have here the Judgment. The Judgment is all about realization, reckoning, and awakening, and kind of reassessing what is that they want, what is that the influence they want to have in the world, what is their role on a global scale as well. So this is kind of like one of those things that where you're kind of realizing, okay, I want to go into this direction. But there might be something here that's coming back from the past, some kind of historical choices, some kind of choices related to their identity, because generally the Judgment can also point back to the past, where something from the past is coming back. But also with the Judgment, there's some kind of a decision as well that's being made, right? When they're kind of, okay, this is the direction that we are heading. And at the bottom of the deck for China, we do have the Page of Wands, which is actually a very youthful and explorative energy in terms of that they're curious about new ventures, or being very assertive with their messages. This can also include propaganda, media narratives, but also just being adventurous. I think they're gonna be looking at this, that okay, this is an opportunity for us to go into some kind of new direction. Now let's see the side of the USA. The first card, if I can pick it up, yes I can, is the Justice card. The Justice is all about balance, harmony, being fair and just as well. So I think it's kind of clear that they are, and you can see the balance as well. They're trying to balance something, balance the scale, balance the deficit, the trade deficit that they have, but also looking for fairness, balance, and accountability. It can be connected to diplomacy, trade laws, or principles, but obviously this is very strongly connected to the trade balance, whatever they have with China. They're looking at it that they are importing way more things from China than China is exporting from them. So they want to balance this better. But also can be like, law, being justful as well. Now the next card of the US side is actually the Two of Wands, which is extremely interesting, because I want to kind of remind you that we have the Two of Wands on the Chinese end as well, right? So they're kind of in a similar position of evaluation and planning. How can you influence the world more? What is the next strategic move? And also what is their future plans? But also there's some very strong ties here on both ends that they're just very hard to let go of, because again the Two of Wands is that card when there's something that's holding you back of making the decision, although you kind of need to make a decision because you're at the fork of a road. So as you can see, they are pretty much looking at this relationship very similarly. Both of them want to influence the world. Both of them want to have more influence, and they're kind of trying to figure out what is the best way they can do it. Now the next card from the US side is the Six of Pentacles. Like, this is a card, again, you have the balance returning here with on this card as well. So trying to balance things, balance the trade, balance diplomacy. Like, this is the equal giving and receiving, right? We kind of, the narrative that has been from the US end that their trade balance is out of balance. So I think you can kind of see that there's a very strong focus here of trying to balance things. Now let's see the bottom of the deck. For the US one is the Four of Wands, which is kind of interesting because the Four of Wands is all about stability, celebration, and also kind of opening new opportunities, a new beginning of some sort, because the Four of Wands is the card of 1111, this new chapter that starts where obviously new opportunities are coming. So I think what's kind of in the background of is that they want to have some new opportunities coming to them, and that's why they are trying to rebalance whatever is happening. But let's see the current situation. The first card we have here is the Knight of Pentacles. What we need to know about the Knight of Pentacles is that this is a very slow moving energy. When you're kind of just planning, and not a lot of things are happening because you want to kind of, you don't want to make a mistake. Because, the Knight of Pentacles is doing everything by the book. So I think there's a lot of planning, and you can kind of see it on both ends. The US is planning, strategizing, China is planning, strategizing, and because of that, there's just not a lot of progress right now. But again, whatever is the progress, it's steady, because this is kind of like the card of bringing long-term stability, long-term abundance as well. So I think what I'm kind of getting to that they're really looking at the long end of the game. What is that they can achieve, but also this can be some kind of a contract, some kind of a deal. They might be working already on something, because generally the Knight of Pentacles can also indicate an offer, something that is actually very fair and very stable. Now we also have the Nine of Swords, which is the card of anxiety and fear, anxiety, sleepless nights, tension as well. So there's definitely a lot of tension right now between the two countries, and I think both of them are not in an easy situation. There's a lot of headaches, there's a lot of things that are coming back, maybe even historical things, but there's definitely tension in the air. Now we also have here the Ace of Cups, which is actually a very positive card of a new chapter, of a new beginning, a desire for renewal, a desire for peace. This is like a very emotional reset type of energy on both sides. I think there's potential here for healing and new beginnings, but there's a lot of emotionally charged approach. And altogether, like, what is really important with these three cards, that there's definitely some very slow and steady progress in the relationship, but right now they are under a great deal of stress, and but there are some hopes for healing, and there's hope for mutual understanding as well with that Ace of Cups. Now let's look at the hindering factors. The first card we have here is the Ace of Wands. So generally the Ace of Wands is something that's full of passion, some kind of a new idea that really spark, that can create a big flame. Now this is in a hindering factor, so it might be that there might be something that is not really thought through, because this is that spark. So maybe there's an idea here that is not really worked out in terms of all the details, how this could be made operational. But also there might be very impulses, competition, or over assertiveness that is adding to the conflict itself, to the unease, what's happening right now. So there's a lot of impulsiveness, there's a lot of fiery energy, and things that are just not worked out fully. The next card is the Empress. Again, the Empress is a very positive card, but we need to kind of look at it that here it is a hindering factor. So when you look at the Empress is all about resources, national interest, abundance, money as well, and long-term abundance, domestic policy. So there must be too much possessiveness here, too much focus on the resources. I think the resources is a key aspect of this conflict, whatever is happening, the rare earth minerals, as much as like the USA is trying to say that they don't want anything from Canada, they don't want anything, but they're pretty much going for all of those countries that has the rare earth minerals. And China definitely has them, and they've been using them. So I think those materials, those resources are a key component in a hindering factor. But also you need to kind of look at here the world, right? The world, influencing the world on a long run is definitely something that making them compete. Now you already have here, also have here the Page of Wands, which is a returning card. The Page of Wands, again, when you look at the pages, they bring news, they bring impulsivity, like this page in terms of like the wands. It also, when you look at the pages, they are at the very early stage of their career, which means that they are not mature enough. So there might be an immature energy here in terms of inconsistency, in terms of the messaging or miscommunication, or just the fact that they are unpredictable. Right, so there's a battle between here impulse, patience, innovation, tradition, ego, diplomacy, but there's a lot of impulsive energy and fiery energy with those wand cards. Now let's look at the opportunities as well. The first card of the reading is the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords can also indicate swift movement forward, clear negotiations, clear communication, because the swords are all about communication, logic as well, and taking a bold action. But it has to be thought through as well, because the challenge of the Knight of Swords, that he just want to get the work done and not necessarily planning. It's very interesting. It's very different from the Knight of Pentacles, who's all about planning and strategizing. So, but because it is in the opportunities here, there's an opportunity for clear communication and finding some kind of a swift negotiation and taking a bold action. The next card in the opportunities is another returning card, the Eight of Cups. So, which is kind of interesting that you have quite a lot from the Chinese side showing up in the reading, in terms of what things are going to be happening. So I'm kind of getting a sense from that maybe the Chinese will have a more influence on the final outcome, what's going to happen here. Because again, the Eight of Cups is a chance of walking away from something that's no longer working, or outdated frameworks, outdated contracts, outdated or toxic dynamics. So there's definitely a walk away that's happening. I think whatever was in the past was in the past, and I think we can expect something new to come instead. Now we also have the Queen of Pentacles in the opportunities, which is actually very good, because the Queen of Pentacles is one of those money resource cards, and economy as well, trade, agriculture, sustainability, and material benefits, and long-term stability, nurturing, grounded alliance. So I think there's some kind of a way to find a win-win solution here, that's going to be mutually beneficial from the economic perspective. Because the Queen of Pentacles has all the resources that she needs. She's really grounded and very practical as well, like a very conservative approach. So I think there's going to be a practical solution here, or there's an opportunity for it. Now let's see what's going to be the final outcome, but before that, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That's an indication that you liked this reading, and you're also helping me to get the message out. And also put in a comment, what do you think? What's going to happen between the US and China in terms of the current relationship? Put it in, where are you watching from? I'm also very excited to see that. And don't forget to check out my other videos. I have quite a few analysis on a similar scale between various countries, also political figures, and I also have readings for your zodiac sign on a money, career, and love relationship perspective that might be able to help you on your everyday. But let's continue. So the final outcome, we have here the Temperance, which is actually a very hopeful sign, because this is a card of healing and recovering. So and also balancing things, because practically the Temperance is one of those energies where you have all the ingredients you need to achieve whatever you want. But also, this is a very, very slow moving energy. Very slow, where you shouldn't be rushing, you shouldn't be kind of going into the extremes, and just take the middle road. So I think the outcome is going to be something that's fair and equally good for both countries. But again, it's going to be a very slow moving process, even though there's this chance here for swift movement forward. I think the progress is going to be slow, because the Temperance as well, it is all about a very, very slow moving energy. Now the next card we have here is the Devil, which I'm not happy to see, because the Devil is the card of imbalance. The Devil is the card of limitations, and it is the opposite of the Temperance. And also the devil is the card of greed as well. You can kind of and it's pretty much a tug and war between these two cards, because you have the temperance and you have the devil, right? It's going to be a very, very complicated to find a solution, because again, this is all about domination, all about influence, and going into the extremes, and also a card of greed, as I said. So there might be something that they need to kind of realize, because with the devil, the challenge is that greed can kind of lead into a lot of things, and there's gonna be a push and pull between here, especially with the devil and the temperance, and also what's not really great in this outcome, because you have here the temperance first and then the devil, which they kind of follow each other. So there might be here some dependence as well, because the devil is the card of dependence. So I think the ties might be way more entangled, as you can kind of see those ropes, than I think they might think. So I think to kind of get out of the current situation, how the economies are entangled and how they are dependent on each other, I think it's gonna be very hard. And also, I don't think they will let go of things, because the devil is just keep pushing their own agenda as well. Yeah. Now we also have here the Ten of Pentacles, which is a positive card in a sense of achieving long-term stability, generational wealth, but also this is like a very influential card from the money perspective. And what I kind of getting here is there's lots of dependence on money, and greed gonna be very key, and I think it's gonna be very hard to find that middle kind of balance, and also trying to find a lasting legacy as well, because when you look at the Ten of Pentacles, it is all about legacy and a long-term stable outcome. So I think ultimately they might be able to get to it, but there's going to be complications on the way, because the devil, as I said, it's a codependency, deep codependency, mutual entrapment, control issues, and probably the darker side of international politics and generally economic dependence as well. So there might be some compromises that they will have to do with temperance. The temperance is a hopeful sign, but again, it's gonna be a back and forth of these shadow energies of the angel and the devil. But what's really great, that at the bottom of the deck we do have the Sun, which is actually the most positive card, which gives us a chance for optimism, clarity, and a hope for a solution. A potential for positive resolution does exist if both sides will commit to the temperance over the temptation of the devil. But also, the Sun also brings clarity. So I think maybe they will be able to realize that whatever is right now, it's just too entangled to get rid of it. But also the Sun might come to light certain things. Greed, how greedy the world is, how greedy capitalism is, and also certain things like in terms of how money is influencing the governments as well. But some things will definitely come to light through the Sun, and I think they will be able to find some solution in terms of if they're able to balance, how much they want to dominate, and how much they're willing to give in. So that's all I have for you. I hope that this reading helped you or you enjoyed it, and I'll be able to welcome you again.